All right. In this lesson, we want to discuss and talk about um, functions. So we're still in functions. On the previous lesson, we talked on the AND functions. So under the functions, we discussed the AND functions. But in this lesson, we're going to discuss on the lookups functions. So under the lookup functions, we'll um, do some practical example on VLOOKUP. So this is what this lesson will based on. So what is VLOOKUPs and where can we use VLOOKUPs? I know you are not familiar with this. So as our custom is all about, looking at my screen here, you will see that I've written down the syntax for VLOOKUPs. That is, we can call it syntax and we can also call it formula. So I've written down the formula for our VLOOKUPs, which is V equal to VLOOKUP, open your parentheses, lookup value, table array, column index, and false. Then close your parentheses. So, and what does this syntax mean? So the syntax, it shows that it will first looks for a specific value, which is the lookup value. Then column, in the first column of the table and return a value from another column in the same table. So this is what we mean. So it will look at, I will show you a table now. So it will look at a value, which is the lookup value that we are looking at, then under the table array, then in the same column, and it will return false if it matches. So this false here is constant. So you cannot write a VLOOKUP without inserting this false. Just take note of that. It is constant. So now, if you look at the screen here, you see that the VLOOKUPs, the value you are searching for. So that is lookup value. The lookup value is the value you are searching for. And example is, for instance, if you are asked to search for an employee ID, so your employee ID is your lookup value. Then the full data range, that is the full data range from your column, let's assume your data start from column A1 to A16. Then that is where your data range is. Then you alight those data range and your column index. This is the column number from the left. That is from the left of your um, range. From the left of your range that you start from V or A1. If your data starts from A1 to your column, which is A1 to A20 or A1 to B20, then from the left, which is A, that is what we mean. Then returned only exact match. So that was what I meant by false, which is a constant value that you need to always put in your formula. So your false is a constant value which you need to put in your formula. Now, this is an example which you are going to treat together. So you are an administrative virtual assistant managing an employee data. So you're managing the employee data of your organization, and there's a need for you to find or look for a department of an employee based on their employee ID. So this is the data given, and this is the name of the employee, and this is their department. Now, this is what we are going to do. We're going to implement this formula given to us, which is our lookup formula. Please take note of this. Let us magnet it in your brain, or you can write it somewhere. It's equal to VLOOKUP, then lookup value, table array, and index, then return false. So that's what we're going to use. Now, this is the table. So I'll copy this table. So let me copy this table because this is what we are going to use for our practical. So then I will come to, so let me share my screen. So I will share my Excel sheet. So this is my Excel sheet. So let me paste the data. So I want to make this as visible as possible. So that's why I'm trying to edit it. So these are the data. Now we are going to implement the formula. So the question is, we should look for an employee department by making use of their employee ID. So that is the task given to us. So we are making use of VLOOKUPs, and the syntax states, as always, before anything, we enter our equal sign, equal to, then VLOOKUP, then we open our bracket. Then the first thing is our lookup value. What is our lookup value? Our lookup value now is the employee ID. That is what's given to us. So we can choose any of the employee ID here. So let's assume the employee ID given to us was 101. Then if you could remember okay, let me type this first. Lookup value, then lookup array, colon, index, and false. So this is the formula. Sorry. So this is the formula for, or the syntax for VLOOKUPs. So I want to replicate this to interpret this by implementing it using this, substituting it to the value here. So now let me remove the equal sign so that it can still be visible on the screen. Now let's implement it. Equal to VLOOKUP, then our lookup value, which is any of these employee ID. Let me just choose 101, comma. Then the lookup array, as explained earlier, is the range from column A2 to column C5. So we are going to highlight this. So we're going to highlight this, then comma. Now, the column index, the column index that is from your left, this is left to right. So that is what we are going to calculate. Now we are looking for the index, which is department. So the column index, which is department, that's what we are looking for. We are looking for the department of an employee with employee ID 101. So the column index from left to right is 3. So if you count from here, which is 1, column 2, then column 3. So that means from column 3, that is what we are looking at. We are looking at the department in column 3. Then we put our comma, then we type false. So if you enter now, you will see that the result returns a HR. That is the employee with ID number 101 is in HR department. Now, if we should change this column ID to 2, it will tell us the name of the ID number. Who is the owner of this ID number? So that's what it will tell us, the name of the ID number, because we have changed the column ID from department to name. So that is why it was able to indicate the name of the owner of that ID. So if we now change this, so I want us to look at something. So if we now change this to 4, you see that it brings an error here. Why? Because there is nothing, there is nothing in this column index. So there's nothing in this column index. So that's why it brings out an error. So that's why it brings out an error. So if we'll change the employee ID and also maintain this column index, but we change the employee ID to 103. So if you change it to 103, so it gives us another department. So indicating the department of employee ID number 103, which is finance. So if you look at the table here, you see that the department for an employee number 103 is finance. And if we want to know the name of that employee, then we need to change the column ID to 2. So it will give us the name Jane. So what you need to understand is that the first thing you need to understand whenever you are typing your syntax is that the lookup value, which is number 1, then your lookup array, which is number 2. So your lookup array is the range of your data. So in this example, my data is only, the range is from A2 to C5. But your own, you might have from A2 to maybe D or E or F or H 200, 1000. So for the purpose of this example, we only limit it to this limited number. But have it in mind that as you are working with a robust or a big organization, so they might have a workforce of about 100 or 1,000 or 20,000. So they might have a workforce of 20,000 or 20,000 or 10,000 or any kind or any amount. So you should be able to use this knowledge to implement it in that scenario. So it works um, in the same way. So it doesn't matter how robust the data is, it doesn't matter how big the data is, but it's also maintain the same formula. So this is how to use your VLOOKUPs in Excel. So there is an assignment there, and there are some quiz sections, so you can attempt the quiz section, and it will help you more. It will help you freshen up on what you have been taught. So the next lesson we'll discuss on X lookups. And please do the practical, do the quiz and practice the questions again. So you can watch the video time and again and again and again. Practice it as you're watching it. Open your Excel, copy different data. You can generate a random data by yourself and also implement all these things we have been doing. So this will help you quickly catch up. All right.